Hello everyone, hopefully you're having a great day today. Merciless Vaughn here, back with another Bleach Brave Souls video. In this one we're going to be talking about whether you should summon or skip on the part 2 10th anniversary banner. Hopefully you enjoy. If you do, leave a like. If you're new to the channel or you have been here for a while, please consider subscribing and help me get to 550 subscribers. Now with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, this banner will be releasing in less than 24 hours. And I just want to kind of go over the 3 new units a little bit more in detail and just go over the featured units in the banner format. So obviously here we are getting 3 new units, a Jushiro, Renji, and Uryu here. Now in my opinion, Jushiro is probably the best units on this banner just because he's very strong. He has a chance to insta-kill on the Soul Bomb. He has an EX move that is a super homing vortex. He has an EX skill that also is giving him Berserker. He has Frenzy +3. He has all status summons resistance 200%, which is great. Damage to paralyzed enemies. He also does have Paralysis Plus, which is great. He does have a superior strong attack on his SA2. He has a team/party strong attack recharge 10%. Pretty good skills. He is a power unit with the Ranker Killer Plus here. Yeah. His Soul Trade strong attack recharge time -14% here. He also does have Berserker at 80%, which is definitely pretty high, but we are now getting units that have 100% Berserker. Status Element Spiritual Pressure boost 100%, which is obviously very great. He also does have the increased status summon chance against the Rankers, which is good too. And he does have Bombardment and Weakened Defense, so Assault Bomb will be hitting pretty hard. So yeah, overall, I do think the Jushiro is really good. Yeah, he definitely is the best one on the banner. The Renji here, he's decent, I do think. He does also have a superior strong attack on his SA2. His SA3 is a 2-stage strong attack. He has a mix of status summon plus and non-plus. As you can see here, his normal attack, SA2, and EX move has lacerate plus. All of his other attacks just have lacerate and burn on them. His EX move is the massive spiritual pressure boost, which is going to give him 100% spiritual pressure, which is, pretty good. It's actually a great skill, really. He has an EX skill that gives him damage to lacerated enemies. Although this is an EX skill, I can't really imagine this being very useful on most characters. I mean, you would only really want to link this character up to units that have lacerate on their attacks. If they don't, then that EX skill really won't be useful. And with the EX skill only being applied to characters of the same attribute, that just limits him more. To where you'll be able to use this damage to lacerated enemies on this EX skill, but he still has that there, which is good. Soul Reaper Resonance, which is a great skill, you'll probably get the most out of that in epic raids. And then he has weakened resistance 200%, so he's going to be immune to the weakened status summon and the weakened plus status summon, whenever we're going to get that. Is a technique unit with Quincy Killer Plus here. And yeah, it grants his EX move grants him 100% spiritual pressure boost for 10 seconds, which is great. His Berserker is at 60%. He also does have Bombardment, spiritual pressure boost 80%. He has increased status summon chance against Quincy's, and he does have Frenzy +3, and he also does have Bombardment, Weakened Defense. And he has damage to lacerated enemies 80%. So with the 80 and then the 40 in his EX skills, it's technically 120% damage to lacerated enemies, so there's that. So any enemies that are alive and you're going to be doing pretty much a lot of extra damage to them with lacerate on them, which is pretty good, not too bad. Then the Uryu here is just pretty much a very good brave battle unit, actually, that is introducing a new skill called the Opening Stat Boost. We'll go over his details just a little bit before we go over that. He does have 2 killers, Stern Ritter and Soul Reaper. Let's see. Yep, his EX move maxed out will give him 30% Bruiser, and his Bruiser is 40% in base. He has Pierce Barrier, Flurry +3. Let's see here. Blocks boost and debuffs. Brave Battle's only opening stat boost. Persistence Breaker, ignore Brave Battle Invincibility, and he has temporary invincibility in Brave Battles as well. Prevent last ditch survival, Flurry +3 if I didn't mention that already. Yeah, so there's that. And this right here basically kind of explains the opening stat boost. It's going to give a temporary boost to attack, defense, and focus at the start of a Brave battle match. And then this pretty much is the visual effect that is shown. This skill is different from boosts and techniques. It can be activated at the same time as a boost and is not nullified by a debuff. Stat boosts from this skill are lost after a set period of time or when the character who has the skill is KO'd. So I'm not sure how long that boost will last, but I'm pretty sure it's probably going to last a good duration. I'm thinking at least maybe about 10 seconds probably. So there's that. Every anniversary, there's always probably at least one new meta breaking brave battle unit in there somewhere. So this is what the Uriel is basically. And so here we have the 3 new units, and we have a pretty decent banner. I mean, they're all 1000 Year Blood War units, so if you've missed any of these 1000 Year Blood War units, you do have a chance to pull them again, which is great. The banner itself, it is 51 steps, just like how the part banner was. At steps 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, you are guaranteed one 5-star character. And at steps 25, you get to choose a new character ticket, and at step 50, you get another choose a new character ticket. But the difference between the 25-step ticket and the 50-step ticket is the 50-step ticket will have a more selection of characters that you can pick, while as the 25-step one will just have the 3 new units on there. And that's pretty much the difference, really. So we talked about the characters a bit more in detail, talked about the banner. Let's go over the featured units very quickly here. So the first featured unit we have in the banner is this Robert here. He is a technique unit with the Ranker Killer. Soul trait, normal attack damage plus 35%. He's a ranged unit with no status limits, and he does have the boost on his SA2. He has the enemies defeated bonus, which, wait, what? Strong attack damage. Wait, what? He has a normal attack damage on his soul trait, but he has strong attack damage for the enemies defeated bonuses. Well, I guess he might be a brave battle unit then if that's the case. Innate skills, sprinter +2, guard break. He has a 50% chance to dodge or ranker attacks. Team/party increased technique attribute character, normal attack damage 20%. His bruiser is at 85%, pretty high. Fire resistance, yeah, okay, I did think he was a brave battle unit. Flurry +1, +2 at guild quest, long reach 20%. Increased range damage 10%, 30 in guild quest, enhancer, poise, booster, increased killer effect 30%, 50 in guild quest. Yeah, it was kind of weird, but as you can see, he's pretty much just going to be a range NAD unit for the range a ranker weekend guild quest. And if he gets to defeat 30 enemies, you know, you'll be doing 20% increased strong attack damage, which honestly isn't too bad, really. So there's that. Up next, we have this Owetsu here, who is a speed unit with the no affiliation plus killer. Soul trait, damage to enemies not affected by an element 40%. He's a melee unit with no status elements, and he does have an EX move. He also does have the gauge effect, which is going to give him 100% berserker and frenzy +1. Innate skills, sprinter +2, havoc, marauder. He starts off any mission with 70% of his gauge once. When his gauge is activated, he will reduce strong attack cooldowns by 30%. He's immune to the fire status element. He has a gauge rampage, which is great, and then he has frenzy +2. So while his gauge is active, he will have frenzy +3, and the gauge rampage skill will just help him get his gauge back faster, which is great. Bombardment +1, increased damage to enemies not affected by element 140%. Weaken defense, long stride, and poise break. So definitely not a bad unit here. Any unit with the killer plus ability is obviously good. He has an EX move, and his gauge isn't too bad either. So definitely, if you don't have him, he will be a good pickup. Up next, we have this Toshiro here, who is a heart unit with the Stern Ritter no affiliation killer. He was one of the units from the part 2 banner of last year's anniversary, so he is about a year old now, but still a really good unit. He does have 2 soul traits, which is strong attack damage +20%, strong attack recharge time -12%. He's a ranged unit with frost on all of his attacks, and he does have an EX move. Innate skills, sprinter, havoc, sharpshooter. The rest of his skills, berserker 70%, devastation 50%. He's immune to all status elements, frenzy +2, bombardment, defibrillator, increased status element chance against Quincy's and no affiliation enemies. Team/party, increased heart attribute, soul for damage to status element affected enemies 40%. Damage for frozen enemies 100%. Weaken defense, long stride, any status element spiritual pressure boost. So even 1 year later, I do think that this unit is still very, very good. He has a good set of skills here, and having 2 killers is always good. Up next is the 2025 1000 Year Blood War version of the Orihime that was last year's end of year banner. She is a technique unit with the Captain Killer. She is a brave battle unit, spoiler. Soul trait, damage taken -20% here. She's a range unit, no status element. She has a barrier and a debuff on her SA2. Innate skills, sprinter, she's immune to paralysis, sharpshooter. The rest of her skills, she has persistence, damage, decreased damage taken 20%, half stun only, increased normal attack damage 50%, half stun only, decreased damage taken 50%. For the first 10 seconds of Brave Battles, Flurry +1, prevent last ditch survival, ignore Brave Battle invincibility, Brave Battle invincibility, prevent Brave Battle healing, Flurry +2, poise, yeah. So for the first 10 seconds of Brave Battles, this unit will have Flurry +3, which is cool. But the thing is, the Brave Battle Mila Rose has the new Persistence Breaker skill, so she's kind of weak against her and pretty much every other Brave Battle unit that has this skill, really. So you do have to watch out for her. But other than that, still a decent unit if you have some dupes and have a good build on her. Up next, we have this Ichigo here, and I actually made a mistake that, or he may end this Ichigo from the 2024 1000-year Blood War end of year banner. I said they were 2025, but they were not. But anyways, yeah, this Ichigo, he's a heart unit with the Soul Reaper and Stern Ritter Killer. He has a Soul Trader strong attack damage plus 20%, and then his second Soul Trader strong attack recharge time minus 12%. He's a melee unit with last rating weakening on all of his attacks. His SA3 is kind of like the 2-stage strong attack where it does one attack and it does another one and just pretty much has a lot of hits. Innate skills, Sprinter +2, Long Stride, Poise. Berserker is at 20%. He's immune to all status elements. Havoc 20%, Frenzy +2, Bombardment, Defibrillator. Increased status element chance against Soul Reapers and Quincy's. Damage to a status elements, weakening being 40% and last rated being 60. Marauder, hit enemies, and status element spiritual pressure boost. So this unit is definitely a bit old, but he's still very, very good. Up next, we have this Byakuya here, who is a technique unit with the no affiliation killer. Soul trait, damage inflicted at full down 30%. Melee unit, weakening on all of his attacks except his SA2. He has a boost on there. Innate skills, Sprinter, Marauder, he's immune to fire, status element. No Berserker, let's see here, Devastation 40%. Full stamina only increase strong attack damage 40%, Frenzy +2, Defibrillator, damage to weaken enemies 40%, Enhancer, Star Barrier +10, and Booster. So, yeah. He's an okay unit, don't know why he doesn't have Berserker or why units back then were still being released without it, but I mean, at full stamina, he will be doing a lot of damage, so you don't have a lot of skills here. Well, he'll benefit from being at full stam, so there is that. Alright, so next up, we have this Bombietta here, who is a technique unit with the Captain Killer. Soul trait, damage inflicted at full stam, 30%. Range unit with fire on all of her attacks, no surprise, really. Innate skills, Sprinter, Havoc, she's immune to paralysis. Devastation, 60%, no Berserker again. Wow, okay. Reduce strong attack cooldown 12%, Frenzy +2, Bombardment, Defibrillator +2 seconds. Increased status element chance against speed attribute enemies, damage to burning enemies 40%, weaken defense, sharpshooter, any spiritual pressure boost 80%. Yeah, there are probably, in my opinion, still really, well, if you compare them to other attributes, there's still really not a lot of Stern Ritter units. So any Stern Ritter unit that you don't have is definitely a nice pickup. Up next, we have the 2022 1000-year Blood War version of Uryu here. This was one of the first newer set of 1000-year Blood War characters that we began to get when the anime started airing back up. He is a technique unit with the Soul Reaper and Captain Killer. Soul trait, strong attack recharge time minus 12%. He doesn't have any status elements on here. His innate skills are Sprinter, Team/Party Stamina Recovery, and Havoc 20%. Team/Party technique, attribute character strong attack damage 20%. Bruiser 40%, Berserker 60%, full stamina only 20%, or excuse me, full stamina damage boost base 20%. He has an increase on potion skills here for the super and regular potions, and he also has the increased droplet drop 30% skill. Frenzy and Bombardment are both at +1. He has guard break and plus Pierce Iron Skin. This Uryu, in my opinion, is still very, very good because, I mean, he increases all technique attribute character strong attack damage. This is a unit that I do tend to use in like some showcases just because of this skill right here. And then, you know, if you ever want to farm pots or droplets, he's going to be good for that as well. So you really can't go wrong with using this unit, even though he is very old. Alright, and then we have Aizen from the 7th Anniversary Part 2 banner. He is a technique unit with the Array or Killer. Soul trait, normal attack damage plus 20%. He is a ranged unit with weakening on all of his attacks except his SA2. He has a boost and a barrier on there. He does have the gauge effect, what gives him 100% Berserker and decreased damage taken 50%. He is immune to the fire status element. He reads all affiliation dodges and he has Sprinter. When he activates his gauge, he gets 30% strong attack reduction, Bruiser 60%, Flurry +1, Defibrillator +5 seconds, increased status element chance against speed attribute characters, Enhancer, Poise, Multi-Barrier +2, Guard Break plus Pierce Iron Skin, and status element attack boost. Fun fact, there are only 2 whole characters in the game that have the status element attack boost. This unit and the Cacao Society Okira. And they are afraid to make nat units like this just because, well, my theory is the Safui Joshiro and this Aizen were just so dominant for so long, and they could just pretty much auto content with the right build. It just really made the game all too easy, and I don't think they really want, I guess, the players to like just auto content like that. I mean, autoing content, like, I guess you could say, point event, obviously you would want to auto that. You don't want to sit there and watch that all day. But auto farming content like maybe Epic Rage or like some like co-op quest, I'm pretty sure they don't want that, and that's basically my reasoning as to why they don't make great nat units like that anymore. But yeah, the spiritual pressure attack boost, or the status element attack boost skill, is a skill you just don't see anymore, and it's very rare. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this one. We went over the 3 new units, we went over the featured units, and we went over the banner itself. Yeah, overall, I do think this banner is pretty decent. If you're someone that takes Brave Battles very seriously, you're definitely going to want the Oryu. And overall, the other characters, are Joshiro being the best one in my opinion. And it's actually been a very long time since we got a new Joshiro, so there's that as well. And then Renji, he's not too bad. He's decent in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, if you want to summon on this banner, by all means go ahead, short. The banner does have a lot of value. You rarely get a chance to get any 1000-year Blood War units that are not on their respective banners. So now would be a good time to pull some 1000-year Blood War units that you may have missed that were, you know, originally came out. And then obviously the 3 new units are good. So that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. As usual, until next time.